What if I told you the key to more confidence, less burnout, and a life that actually lights you up was already inside you? In this episode, we're talking about unleashing your superpowers, those unique strengths that make you brilliant, bold, and way more powerful than you think. I'll share a personal story, some eye-opening stats, and 2 game-changing ways to finally uncover what's been hiding in plain sight. This one's packed with energy and ends with a challenge, so don't miss it. Welcome to the Lead with Spark podcast, the show where real women lead with authenticity, show up with presence, and live out their purpose. I'm Lynsey Mulder, speaker, C-suite executive, family gal, travel junkie, and a firm believer that your leadership starts from within. Around here, we go beyond the fluff. We talk about the real stuff no one teaches you in leadership training. Your values, your superpower strengths, boundaries to stop burnout, and how to quit being the chaos coordinator of your own life. Whether you're building a business, leading a team, or just trying to stop feeling stuck in the daily grind, this is your space to get clear, get aligned, and finally lead with confidence. So let's cut the noise and reconnect with the spark that makes you, you. Let's go get our spark on. My grandson is obsessed with superheroes. Like, I'm talking full on costume changes several times a day, obsessed. He has Spider-Man, the Hulk, Batman, even a little tiny Iron Man suit that lights him up. And yes, it's just as adorable as you're imagining right now. But here's the part I love the most. When he puts on that costume, he becomes that superpower. He stands taller. His little chest puffs out. He assumes the superhero poses. You can imagine it. If he's Spider-Man, he's got his web shooter out. If he's Captain America, he's holding up his shield. He even drops his voice an octave when he's Batman. He doesn't just pretend to be the superhero. He becomes more confident, more brave, and more energized. And every time I watch him, I think, why did we ever stop doing that? Why do we wait for someone to give us permission to our own brilliance? Why are we walking through life with our superpowers tucked away like a cape in the closet? Or in my case, that invisible lasso up on a shelf? Well, my friend, that's what we're talking about today, because this next step in the Spark Life formula is the one that has the potential to blow the lid off your confidence, off your fulfillment, and honestly, your energy for your life. So let's talk about unleashing your superpowers. If you're thinking, I have no clue what my superpowers are, what you're even talking about, you're not alone. Only 30% of people can actually name their superpowers, those things that they're just naturally brilliant at. And get this, only 1 in 5, that's only 20%, are actually using their strengths every single day. That's it, a very small percentage. That means most people are leaving their greatest gifts up on the shelf, showing up to work and their life every day without their full spark. And here's the kicker. When you do use your superpowers daily, your confidence skyrockets by 50%. Your burnout drops by 20%. Your motivation and your mental health improves significantly. And from a business perspective, for all you leaders out there, if you start to get your team to use their superpowers every day, their productivity increases 3 times what it is today. Your turnover starts to decrease because they're more excited about what they're doing. And engagement, get this, for both you personally and for your team, engagement goes up 600%. That's right, 600%. And that's not just engagement at work, that's engagement in life. When you're using your superpowers, you show up differently at work, at home, in your community, even in your conversations. You're energized instead of drained. You're clear instead of scattered. You're thriving instead of just surviving. So if all that goodness is sitting there waiting for us, why aren't we living in our capes every day? Here's what I found out after coaching hundreds of women leaders and business owners. We're simply blind to them. Your superpowers come so naturally to you that you often overlook them. You think, well, everybody can do that, when actually they can't. You are one of the only people that can. You've just been doing it for so long and so instinctively that you've stopped seeing it as special. And if being blind to them isn't bad enough, we've created these limiting beliefs in our mind about our superpowers. We brush off the compliments. You've done it. Somebody says thank you, and your reply is, oh, no big deal. It's just something that I do. We downplay that praise. Then our minds drive us into the comparison trap. Somebody says something like, oh, you're such a motivator. And internally your mind says, you might be, but you're not Tony Robbins. Or, wow, you are an amazing baker. I love that cake. And we think, yeah, but I'm not Martha Stewart. Reality is you can be great at something and so can someone else. And of course, we don't want to accidentally sound arrogant. We think that if we say thank you and we log it as a superpower, we're actually boasting or we're bragging. Well, naming your gift is not bragging. It's being a good steward of what you've been given. And the last reason that we don't even know our own strengths is because your greatest strength is often your greatest weakness. This is a big one for me. I believed this perception for a long time, that my greatest strength was my greatest weakness. You see, one of my very first performance reviews went something like this. Lynsey, you're too bold. You need to tone it down when you're in meetings. Lynsey, you come off with this air about you that drives people away. So you need to kind of figure out how to tame you. You're just a little bit too much. Can you stop asking so many questions? I perceived that as a weakness and started to tailor my behaviors, tone all those things down. I was completely miserable. Then I decided I just can't be that person anymore. And my last performance review in the corporate world went something like this. Lynsey, your boldness allows people to be confident in the direction that we're going. Lynsey, the questions that you ask and that air that you bring gets people excited about the things that we're doing and make sure that we're on the right track. Because my strengths at that time in my history, they were powerful, but they were also unrefined and unbalanced. I spoke boldly, but it was called bossy. I moved at a really fast pace, but got accused of steamrolling people. They weren't wrong. But instead of dialing it down, I just needed to learn how to aim it better. Because when my superpower was out of alignment, it was exhausting. I felt like I was pushing through mud. And that's the last thing that I want for you. When someone asks you to operate outside of your zone of genius all day, every day, it's like trying to cook a gourmet meal with one hand tied behind your back. You might be able to do it, but it won't be pretty. It might not taste good, and it's completely inauthentic, and it completely drains you. Okay, so how do you actually find your superpowers? It's a two-step process. It's a spark scan. The first step is simply self-reflection. I say simply, but because of all the reasons that we just discussed, it is going to be hard, but you really need to do it. Start by heading to your favorite spot, a coffee shop, your back deck, or that special place that you can go in your house where nobody bothers you. Then pause and ask yourself these questions. What do people thank me for over and over again? You might find some hints to this in your smile file. What do I do that feels easy for me but seems to impress other people? What gives me energy when I'm doing it, where time just flies by? And what do I enjoy so much that I do it even if I wasn't getting paid? I want you to keep at answering these questions for 60 minutes because you see the first few things that you write down, they're going to be pretty surface level. The deeper items are going to come about halfway through your reflection time, so about that 30th minute. This is when your mind starts to realize that you're serious about answering these questions and opening up. And your mind starts to really focus on not only the question, but also the quality of the answer. So keep at it. And as you write, be sure to list even the ones that you try and talk yourself out of. One of my clients told me, well, I just connect people naturally. It's no big deal. I didn't want to write it down. Except it is a big deal. She had connected business partners, clients, friends with mentors, and every single time there was an impact. She just didn't see it because it came naturally. If that sounds like you, you're probably standing on top of your gift and you don't even realize it. Your superpowers can be actions, behaviors, character traits, or skills that you've worked out over time. Write all of them down. They're not just something that you're good at, it's something that feels like home. These are things that fuel you. After you've completed your reflection, you get to move to step 2 of the Spark Scan, and that's asking the experts. Remember, we already identified that you're blind to your superpowers, but everyone around you, everyone in your circle, they can see them. That makes them the expert of your strengths over you. And this one is so much fun and can actually be surprisingly emotional too. You are going to ask a handful of people to answer this question. Please describe a time when you saw me at my best. That's it. No top 5 strengths or, hey, choose a word. Just tell me a story. I'm going to say it one more time. Please describe a time when you saw me at my best. Here's why this question works. It's intentionally designed. It bypasses the analytical brain of the person that you're asking, and it taps into real life memories. You'll hear them start talking about how you showed up and what you did, the impact that you had, instead of worrying that they're saying what you want to hear or they're answering in the way that you hoped for. When they start to answer, your job is just to listen. Don't deflect, don't correct them. Just respond with either thank you or tell me more. As they talk, write down what they say. Collect the stories. Start to look for patterns. Over time, and the more people that you ask, your themes will start to emerge. There'll be words like connector, encourager, problem solver, strategic thinker, resilient. Even when you think that thing can't possibly be a strength, write it down, add it to your themes. I chatted with a client just a week ago who shared her expert stories and said she couldn't find the theme. Every story that she told me included some form of resilience. And yes, resilience is a superpower. If people keep telling you, you bounce back like no one that I've ever seen. That's not just a trait, that's a strength that can anchor other people in chaos. It's a gift that people need, one that you can example to others, and you can even loan them when we need it. So jot those things down. The truth is, your superpowers aren't hiding from you. They're all around you. They're in your stories, your strengths, your feedback loop. You just need to pause long enough to name them. When you do, you'll actually start leading with more confidence, communicating with clarity, and designing a life that actually feels like yours. And once you start seeing power in them, you're going to want to use them more often, and you can start helping other people do the same. You'll teach by example. You'll model possibility. And sometimes you'll even lend your strength to someone who's running low, because that's what superpowers do. To make this practical and easy, I've created a free Spark Life Superpower Playbook just for this episode. It'll walk you through the reflection questions, how to ask others for stories, and what to do with the feedback. You can download it at the link in the show notes. Let's stop waiting for someone to hand us a cape. You've got superpowers to unleash. And if you're listening today and you're thinking, wow, what if my whole team operated in their superpowers? You're absolutely onto something. I offer a workshop that helps teams uncover their individual superpowers and then learn how to leverage each other's strengths. It's energizing, eye-opening, and delivers real business results. It's going to help you improve collaboration on your team, get higher engagement, increase productivity, and most importantly, create a team culture that actually enjoys working together. If you want your team to stop operating on autopilot and start showing up in their zone of genius, reach out. I'd love to bring this workshop to your team. And as we wrap up today, let me leave you with this. Your superpowers were never meant to stay hidden. They're not just for your benefit. They're for the people that you serve, the teams you lead, the family you love, and the life that you're building. So go ahead, put the cape on, own your brilliance, unleash your spark, and lead like the superhero you already are. Until next time. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for being here and for doing the work to lead yourself first. If this episode sparked something for you, take a second to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with another woman who's ready to own her leadership. And remember, the way you lead your life is the way you lead everything else. If you or your organization are looking for a speaker, an impactful workshop, or an executive coach, head over to lynseymoulder.com and let's connect. Keep showing up. Keep leading with spark. You got this. I'll see you next time.